Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is hump day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as I always like to say, the fun is all in the trying.
Can you remember the last time you had 2 days off in a row?
No, I honestly can't because I Saturdays, I'm okay. I may have more time off on most Saturdays, but I'm always doing some kind of work. Usually catching up on stuff that needs to get done by Monday.
Yeah, Saturday's a work day for me. Always has been. But I mean,
well, you got a radio show you got to put together.
Yeah, I like sometimes I'll get like 2 days on call for the other job, and if they don't call me, those are like the closest things to a days off I have. But I can't do anything. Just gotta wait for them to call.
Well, sometimes, man, it's doing nothing is the best thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's like, like, oh, I got to cut. I can't do anything that's going to take me out of the pocket for more than 20 minutes.
Right.
I got a respond time kind of thing. So
I hear you, and you know what though, I appreciate. It's been a while since we've done 2 days in a row, me and you.
This is like day 5 now, right?
We did last Friday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did we do last Thursday?
I don't know. I have to roll the tape back. Roll the tape back.
Yeah, I'll get my production assistant right on that.
That's it. I get the intern here. I can ask her.
As soon as I get them their raise.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm going to double my intern salary.
There you go. Because Mike makes the big bucks on radio.
That's it. Double of zero is still zero. So
double of zero is still zero. Andy, look at him, man. I didn't even warn him there was going to be a math test today.
Well, that's double zeros. That's the old Jersey number, right?
Old Jersey number. I hear you. Speaking of that, rocking the Fiji national jersey.
The football.
My son-in-law. That's where my wife is from. I've visited there multiple times. I love hanging out in Fiji. I always say this. I'm not into doing nothing, but if I'm going to do nothing, it's going to be in Fiji.
Yeah, it's hard to do nothing at home because there's things waiting for you, right? But
everyone knows where to find you.
On a pool deck somewhere. Yeah. Bring me another beverage, garçon.
Oh, no. Just sitting on a deck overlooking the ocean. I'll tell you the best thing when I was in Fiji, it's only like 6 bungalow resort, right? It wasn't like a total expensive place, but getting up early in the morning, even before the sun comes up, sitting on the patio and just watching the ocean come in, man. It was just, drinking my Irish coffee, which was basically whiskey and coffee, made for a very, very good sunrise.
Just killing all sorts of cultural norms there in Fiji.
Oh yeah.
And listen, if it's a real day off,
wait. I was drinking, okay, and listening to the ocean.
If it's a real day off, a true vacation day off, there ain't no Mike getting up before noon. I don't care how great the sunrise is.
Unfortunately, man, I get up early anyway. But for me, that's also kind of like my alone time. It's my time to it's me, myself, me and my thoughts, just relax and chilling. Yeah.
I've seen plenty of sunrises, but like 90% of them because I stayed up, not because I got up early.
Okay. Okay. All right. I see where you're at. I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree.
I see the sunrise in Vegas all the time.
Oh man, folks, you don't understand how Vegas. You got to do Vegas. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not Vegas. I'm just saying I mainly know Vegas through shot, and Vegas through shot is if you get an hour and a half's worth of sleep, you've gotten a lot of sleep, and for some odd reason, You still function cool all day. And then you get home, and whatever they've been pumping into that, by the time you get home, whatever they've been pumping into the air over there is now out of your system, and you've got to detox for a week. Or at least 3 days. For me, 3 days.
I do have to detox, but for me, they're pumping in vodka and Red Bull.
Well, there is that. I mostly just stick to the whiskey and bourbon, to be honest. Maybe an occasional beer as a chaser, but mostly whiskey and bourbon.
Well, I mean, I have bourbon to a certain point, and then you switch to the vodka Red Bull. You want to keep the party going.
Oh yeah.
By the party, I mean work, because we might be at a party
work.
working. We're working. Yeah.
Yes, when we are partying at SHOT, we are working. let us not clear. Look, most of these sponsors that are here did not show up during the business hours of SHOT Show. It was at Circle Bar, which is amply named that only during SHOT.
That's right. Only exists 1 week a year.
One week a year. Well, the bar exists. It's just only Circle Bar one week a year. All right, folks, let's go ahead and kick this puppy off and start it off the way we usually do, with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get yourself some AR barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire. All of your AR barrel needs. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, personal gear, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
Now, folks, we gave you an assignment yesterday. We told you to go over to armsroomradio.com and check out and listen to the latest episode of Arms Room Radio. It airs on, my 25 stations across the country. It is a phenomenal show, all about the Second Amendment, all the gun things, all the gun time, I believe. Is that one, not one of your slogans?
That's it. It's 25 stations on a regular schedule, and then 25 is filler during the week.
There you go. Check them out, folks. Check them out today. Also want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please go sign up for the 2A newsletter. Just go to 2anews.us. That's 2anews.us. Click on the subscribe here button, put in your email address, and you will get all of the Second Amendment news of the week in your inbox. Whether it comes from the mainstream media or it comes from the 2A media, whether it comes from bloggers, vloggers, you name it, it will all be there ready and waiting for you. And then finally, please make sure to go to Amazon.com and download your copy of Uncommon Sense, on the present state of American government and the return to first principles, written by yours truly, Craig DeLuz. Go there, check it out today. Once again, Uncommon Sense by a brother who seems to have a little bit, maybe just a little bit, but a little bit of common sense.
A wee bit
of common sense. Although my next book is going to be called Common Nonsense.
You're right for crazy moms for everything, huh?
Yeah, no. Well, it's so common nonsense is about all of the things that the people in particular on the left believe to be true that just isn't. So it's nonsense, and it happens to be common.
Very true. Very true. I can see that.
So we's working on that one. But anyway, in any case, I want to remind you, if you're watching this show during the 3 o'clock hour on the West Coast or the 6 o'clock hour on the East Coast, you're watching us live, and we would love to hear what you have to say. Whether you agree with us or disagree with us, give us a shout out. In fact, we would love it if you disagree with us, because that gives us an opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Mockingbird.
Yes, sir, Bob. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this first story here. Now, the worst part about this story is this. We already know that we can't trust polls, right? Going all the way back to the 2016 election of President Trump, where he was supposedly supposed to lose by a landslide, right? Well, and then turned out to actually win and become a president of the United States. Well, now come to find out, there is a company out there that decided that they were going to create some fake polls as a part of a social experiment, as they say. And, well, just came out that not only did they just closed their doors, but they've actually admitted that they faked their polls.
About a fake poll result or many results. Think about how this might erode further voters' trust in political surveys. The opponent calling out incumbent Democrat Mayor Karen Bass for sharing a bogus poll without vetting it first. It showed Karen Bass far ahead of her radical left opponent, Nithya Raman. The company behind the poll has admitted to everything, saying it's not staffed by real pollsters and calls itself a, quote, short-term social experiment. Yeah, but people didn't know that. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse in Los Angeles with the actual, truthful, real details. William.
Well, Harris, it was a great scam, and it worked. Now, we've worked in enough newsrooms to know how this happens. You have a legitimate-looking news release, a website, context, a timely story, and a lot of media picked this up, and millions of misled voters, unfortunately, paid the price. So here's what happened. A legitimate-sounding company puts out a poll showing L.A. Mayor Karen Bass leading Councilwoman Nithya Raman by 12 points. Well, that's plausible. But it also showed 85% of Spencer Pratt voters breaking for Bass. Well, that is a huge red flag, right? In no way would most Pratt voters support Bass. But the media loves polls. Many TV stations here locally, a major newspaper, published this entirely fabricated poll, and that was republished hundreds of times on social media. Now, when the LA Times called the polling company, it admits the whole thing is a hoax. Here's a quote. Median Strategies was created as a short-term social experiment to examine how purported polling information could enter and spread through the political information ecosystem without independent verification. It also said that no one involved got paid and that the project was not funded by a candidate, campaign, party, or PAC. Now, Mayor Bass, understandably, she shared the poll, and she defends what she did by blaming the media for not doing its job. Councilwoman Raman blamed the mayor for promoting a fake poll without properly vetting the source. Bottom line is, the experiment proved a point, right? Newsrooms are thin, experienced people are out. The pressure is to feed the beast, not to hold the story indefinitely until you're 100% confident it's sourcing, and this is what happens when that happens. Harris?
Well, look, and then there are all the questions.
By the way, just to be clear, it wasn't just the Bass poll that they put out. It was also Hong, the crazy Professor Doom Dr. Doom Eyes candidate running for governor in Wisconsin. They also projected her winning by double digits. Now, I think there's more to this than a social experiment, Mike. I think this was an attempt to actually impact the election. And I hate to say this, but I don't blame Karen Bass unless you tie it back to her. I don't blame Hong unless you tie it back to them. I do blame the media for not checking on the validity of the poll, for not looking at, okay, well, who are these people? What polls have they done? Did they just come up out of nowhere? And what methodology did they use? And now all of a sudden they're admitting, yeah, there was no methodology. They just put down some numbers.
No, agreed. I don't understand how you can blame the candidates. Like you said, unless they prove to be behind it. This is the media's at fault, and it's just further proof that the media has no integrity whatsoever anymore. Remember, I remember when was it Dan Rather got in trouble and lost his job because he only had a single source on a story rather than double source. Yet now they're going with no sources, just publishing stuff left or right. Craig, my question would be: is there somewhere, some jurisdiction, whether it be state or federal, somewhere that could find criminal charges against this organization for misleading people and having them spend money in different places?
Well, I think clearly they promoted fraud. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly right now what crimes they have committed. But I do know, I do believe that if there is not a crime that they have committed, if there is no, then someone needs to write a law. Because I think when you do something like this, I mean, this is literal they're trying to steal an election. Now, we already know the media does this.
Yeah. It's
right?
election manipulation. Yeah.
Yes, electioneering. We know that the media already does this. We know that they tell a bunch of lies. But when you pretend to be a valid source of information like this, and you present. Now, I mean, we're talking just flat out faked information. By the way, Dan Rather didn't just get fired because he only sourced one. He only used one source. It turned out to be a lie.
Yes, but if he had two sources, he could have misproven, the facts or proven.
Or at the very least, he could have said, "Well, look, I checked with two sources. I got two sources on it. If it ain't the truth, then both of my sources lied to me."
Correct. Yeah, and if he had done that, which was the normal procedure in journalism at the time, it wouldn't have happened.
Well, that's that thing called confirmation bias. And this is quite frankly happens very often in the media. The fact that 90 to 95% of those in the mainstream media, reporters and those who report on politics at the national and in many cases state levels, are all registered Democrats. There is a reason why they don't verify a lot of this stuff, because they want to believe it. They went to school with and they hang out with everybody who thinks like they think. So when something like this comes out, well, that just makes sense.
That's right.
So they all trust each other, all in bed together. So no verification. Why would they need to verify? It's all good information. Why would my good friend, my fellow comrade lie to me? Anyway, but the thing that also bothers me about this is that this feeds into the leftists and the neo-Marxist plan of wanting us to distrust institutions. So wait a minute, now we can't trust government, we can't trust academia, we can't trust the medical community, we can't trust polling services. I mean, we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, and that's in the end, that's what they want. They want you to be able to trust no one, so that when they tell you that they can fix all of your problems, all you have to do is trust them, that they feel like they can talk you into it. And when you say, well, I don't know if that makes any sense, well, does anything really make any sense? At least I'm giving you what you want.
There you go.
That's how they be.
That's how scams work.
That is definitely how scams work. Speaking of scams, let's talk about the WNBA and some of the BS that's going on over there. So, there's the whole Sophie Cunningham thing where, she was asked a question, right? She didn't go out she was asked a question. How did she feel about transgender women or biological men participating in women's sports? And she said, yeah, no, I just think it's a common sense thing that, biological males shouldn't participate in women's sports. And everybody went off on her, right? Except for the people who, like a lot of us who kind of agree that makes sense, which is about 80%. Maybe just everybody in the WNBA sphere. Anyway, someone created a clothing line, a T-shirt line called XXXY. And the whole idea being, there's a difference. And a couple of ladies decided to wear their T-shirts to a game. And let's just say they were forced to either cover it up or they were going to be kicked out. Here is their story.
We were made to cover up our XXXY shirts at this game.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
They gave us shirts.
They gave us T-shirts during overtime and told us we had to leave.
And this is for the girls.
Or cover our shirts up. This just happened.
Where were you sitting?
Floor
4-3 row
C.
Yeah.
Third row of floor 3.
And how much were your seats?
$1,000 each around.
Yeah. And we did nothing. We were just sitting there. I didn't make signs. I wanted to make signs, but I didn't. I did nothing.
They made us put our shirts on.
I did notice during the game on the Jumbotron, they put up a woman wearing a shirt that said protect trans rights or something.
She's the one who told on because she was made to zip up her jacket.
So she also had to zip up her jacket?
But I think that's
But that's bullshit too. She shouldn't have to.
But they put her shirt on the Jumbotron.
I know.
It's almost like the message was made and they said now zip it up to make it seem like they're consistent.
Yeah.
But they never were.
Yeah.
No, never are.
And why did you spend so much on tickets? Why was it important for you to be here today?
To support Sophie Cunningham and to support women in women's sports because it's just common sense.
And what's the relation here?
That's my daughter.
And are you an athlete?
I used to be until I had a bunch of knee surgery.
What sport?
I did all sorts here. I did soccer. I did all of that.
Yes.
And did this issue ever come up? Like, did a biological man ever try to play against?
No, we're from here, so it hasn't happened here
a lot.
But I can't believe that just happened in
shocking.
Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, so the WNBA has responded, right? Now, what they've said here is WNBA stance on a pair of fans being asked to cover their shirts at Sunday's Dream Fever game is clear. Quote, this shouldn't have happened, a league spokesperson said of the incident on Monday. A mother and daughter were were told by security at Atlanta's Gateway Center Arena their XXXY Athletics shirts were offensive and were forced to either put on a Dream t-shirts or leave the game. There's a picture of the mom and the daughter. Said we were made to cover up our XXXY shirts in this game. The mom recorded saying in the arena after the game in Atlanta. It says the pair claimed they were told. The Dream also weighed in on the incident, noting that they missed the mark. Quote, this is from them. The Atlanta Dream believes in creating a safe, inclusive environment for everyone. The Dream wrote in a statement, quote, unfortunately, at last night's game, WNBA security took actions that fell short of that standard. At no point was the Dream personnel involved in the decision made by WNBA security. The Fever have become a lightning rod in recent weeks after guard Sophie Cunningham told ESPN she wants, quote, to protect young girls in the locker room or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Now, I'm going to tell you, Mike, the biggest crime here that I saw was that these women paid $1,000 to see it. Anybody paid $1,000 to see a WNBA game.
Who would pay that price? That's ridiculous. I don't care what.
I have no idea.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they did get a free shirt out of it, though, Craig. I mean, they got a. They
did get a free shirt. So I'm like, okay, do you really think these security guards just went and did this on their own?
This was. Let's be clear. Like you've got probably 5 entities there. Okay, you've got the arena staff and the arena security. They have their own, right? Both of the teams are going to have their own security, right? Then you're going to have the NBA security, plus you're going to have the police department that's there as well. So you got 5 different people trying to apply security rules there. It does not excuse this at all. The NBA, somebody there made the decision that I like DEI, I like trans women, I don't care what the rest of the rules are, and we're going to tell these people to cover up, and they should be held to large dollar signs for the mistakes that they've made.
Well, whoever did it, I'm not going to sit here and say they should be fired, but I am going to say that they ought to have some time off work unpaid. How about that?
I give these 2 women $100,000 a lawsuit. Give it, let them have it.
I would not be surprised if that was the result of this, but I'm just like, but it's why is it so crazy? Why do people on the left make it sound so crazy that, well, men, biological men in women's sports, regardless of how you feel about the trans issue, biological men competing against
same ignorant people we see working at a restaurant that throw people out for wearing a MAGA hat. It just they're right. They're sub normal IQs. They're idiots. They're morons. Yeah. And they think that the ends will justify the means, but that's just, and this isn't even the biggest WNBA story of the week. To me, it's the we have 2 former NBA players now that have declared themselves for the draft for the WNBA. Said if they're going to let men play, I'm going to keep playing my career.
Well, I see no reason. I see no reason why not. By the way, Mike, I am partaking of some horse soldier.
I got many horse soldiers right there.
You do. You have several of them. I have one. I will probably be getting a couple of the other ones, but
there you go.
Anyway, just thought you would find that one to be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm just tired of being treated of people who just believe normal things being treated like we're the crazy ones. Like, wait a minute. Not too long ago, I'm going to say pre-COVID, there really wasn't anything bad about saying, yeah, guys shouldn't be playing in women's sports. Guys shouldn't be in women's bathrooms. We came out of COVID, and all of a sudden, I'm a bigot if I say that.
COVID's a good time reference for it. It wasn't because of COVID.
It wasn't because of COVID.
Yeah. It was. Now remember, these are all the things we saw, all the ridiculous DEI things we saw during Biden and Harris, were all of the policies that Obama wanted to push and Clinton wanted to push, but didn't have the power to do so. Or didn't have the nerve to do so while their names were at the top. So let Biden go in because he was their puppet and they were running the administration, and they get to put all those things out while he's in office.
Well, because all of these decisions were not being made in public anymore. They were being made behind, because guess what? No public meetings, right? You can't go to some of these regulatory meetings or some of these legislative meetings and voice your opinion, right? Nobody knew. So they did these things not behind closed doors, because supposedly they were still viewable by the public.
Right.
But all of a sudden we came out of COVID and it was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I'm a bigot because I don't use, I use proper English pronouns.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, when you radically change society, I'm not the radical for saying, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold up. When did all this change?
At that point,
doesn't make me the radical.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a radical because I'm like, yeah, no, it's been this way for thousands of years. And it was like this, yesterday.
Yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of radical, let's talk about the state of California trying to control what tires you can buy for your car, saying that, well, most of the tires that are being sold in the state of California, most replacement tires, well, they don't meet a certain level of fuel efficiency. So we're going to make it so that you are no longer allowed to purchase them.
California regulators approved new rules that will limit the type of tires you can buy when it's time to replace them on your car.
Yeah, while the California Energy Commission says that this is meant to save money for consumers, tire makers say that this will add to the cost of living here in the state. And Case Area 3 was the only TV station at the meeting today. Case Area 3 political director Ashley Zavala was there to watch the vote. So walk us through what this is supposed to do.
This was a lengthy hearing, and ultimately the California Energy Commission, in a unanimous vote, approved new rules that will phase out the sale of replacement tires that are currently sold in California that do not meet certain energy efficiency standards. It's expected to eliminate most of the tires that are right now sold in this state. The goal is for consumers to save money on gas or electricity if you have an EV by having more efficient tires. At the center of this is a tire's rolling resistance, or how much energy a tire uses as it rolls down the road. Lower resistance means a vehicle uses less gas or less electricity. New cars generally come with efficient tires, but consumers typically replace them with higher rolling resistance tires. This new rule comes in phases in California. So first, by 2029, California will only allow the sale of tires with a maximum rolling resistance level of 9.1. In phase 2, the standard lowers to 7.2 starting in 2033. That second phase means that an estimated 70% of tires currently sold in California will be eliminated from the market. The California Energy Commission has never regulated tires before, so this is a first. The commission claims the savings on gas and electricity will offset the cost of new tires in the beginning of these phases. The commission also claims this will improve air quality and provide other environmental benefits. But meanwhile, some tire makers have several concerns. Some say this is actually going to increase costs by limiting consumer choices. Here's what both sides of this new rule told us after the vote.
From the commission or the industry perspective, what we're really concerned about is the fact that these costs to the average, families in California that are struggling with affordability, is that it's going to increase their cost by hundreds of dollars in phase 2, and we've highlighted that, and even in CEC's own data you can see that. So we're rather disappointed that they move forward with phase 2.
What's the trip about this, Mike, is once again, this is a body that is not elected by anybody, exerting a level of control under this vague California environmental rule, which gives them the ability to basically say, they could limit the amount of flatulence you are allowed to expel in a given 24-hour period in order to reduce the the greenhouse gases. That is how broad they have taken the belief that they could regulate just about any damn thing here in the state of California. They already went after lawnmowers. They've gone after fireplaces. They've gone after barbecues. They've gone after stoves. They've gone after pretty much everything. I'm still surprised that they haven't made raising cattle or beef illegal in the state of California because, cow farts.
Exactly. Craig, in a state where you've got the upper class leaving at will, where you've got the middle class leaving as they can afford to, what a great new policy to have. Let's make it more expensive to be here and more difficult. This is definitely a solve for keeping people in California and getting more people to come back to California to increase the tax base. This will surely do that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the fact that the middle class is leaving as they can afford to. It helps that their jobs are going too. So all they have to do is go with their jobs.
Yes, that does make it a little simpler. Yeah.
These are people who clearly do not live in the real world. They do not live in reality.
No.
They do not understand or do not even stop to think about they think they're protecting consumers by saying, "Oh, well, we're going to make them save money on gas." Well, here's the thing. So in the state of California, because they've made because vehicles are more fuel efficient now, and they're getting less money in terms of gas tax, they decide every year they're going to up the gas tax as well as try to increase taxes in other areas. Like they want to put a mileage tax on people's cars, right? They want to control how far you can drive or how far you drive based on, taxing you if you decide to drive too far.
It's everything in California, Craig. It is let's raise minimum wage. That way, the people will make more money. Oh, okay. That's not going to cause the cost of food to go up or the cost of, running a business to go up at all. That won't work. That won't work that way. Surely it won't. And they're just, you've got yourself a giant handful of morons out there. Craig, what do you think? I could tell you what's going to happen. Why do you think the cost of gas is so high? Because they've got to, like you just said, supplement for everything else. When I raise the price of tires, where do they think that's going to go? How do you think the industry is going to offset that? It's just, well, another gas tax. Here we go. It's going to make it more affordable. Yeah, it's going to make it more affordable on my car, but then you raise my gas tax 20 cents another gallon to supplement the cost you just ran out of. You know how much more it's going to cost the tire industry to make one set of tires that has to go to California and 49 sets of tires that can go to the rest of this country?
Well, the fact that they already make the tires and the fact that they already charge more for the tires just means more money in their pockets.
Yep.
In the end, that's what it means. What the thing though is, Mike, is I will say this, is that there's a certain percentage of these folks that are intellectual midgets and they're morons, but there's a certain percentage of people who see this as, look, if we can get away with this, then think about all the other things that we can now turn around and start to regulate that we really were never given any authority over, right? And once again, these are people who are not elected bureaucrats. If you want to know, my book, Uncommon Sense, it is literally about the bureaucratic state. Like I said, the best line in that book, and I will continue, that by far from anyone that's read it, has been that tyranny in the 21st century files paperwork.
That's it. That's right.
That right there be the truth right there. Just saying.
Yep.
All right, moving right along. March for Our Lives unveils an unintentionally hilarious anti-gun campaign. This was a piece that's over at Bearing Arms, and it's written by, once again, our good friend, Mr. Cam Edwards. And he's pointing out this new campaign that they're pushing over at March for Our Lives, which is the David Hogg group. Anyway, he says here, March for Lives unveils unintentionally hilarious anti-gun campaign. These are tough times for the anti-gunners at March for Our Lives, or at least the few who remain. Last March, the group laid off 13 of its 16 full-time employees, and since then, the group has basically been running on fumes. In an attempt to regain some relevance within the gun control movement, and to attract some donations as well, the group has launched a brand new campaign called The Machine. And I'll show it to you in a second. There are several fundamental problems with the premise of MFOL's argument. First of all, let me show you the campaign here real quick. So this is The Machine, right? March for Our Lives, reference to the campaign, a user's manual for the American gun industry. Now, I saw this, and they start off talking about, who's died, open that up, start talking about who died. They talk about the components of the gun machine. I have all of them. Here's the thing that gets me. They got NRA, they got NSSF, they got NAGR, and they got GOA. I got to admit, they don't have any, for example, any of the legal, here we go, legal architecture. They got, so legal, they have the things, they have the decisions, but they don't have the organizations that won those decisions, which, by the way, is the backbone right now, to be quite honest, of the gun rights movement. Anyway, how the machine is wired, and so here it is. And so here it is. They think they kind of know how gun rights and the gun rights machine work, know the machine, anyway, how it operates. In any case, it's unintentionally hilarious. Now let's see what Cam has to say about it. He says, let's start with the fact that violent crime is plummeting across the country. Murders are at the lowest rate they've been since the 1950s, and gun sales are still steadily running about 1 million per month. By the way, in a lot of places, that's going up. That number is going up. In fact, over the past few months, the National Shooting Sports Foundation has reported an increase. Oh, look, I should have just kept reading. An increase in sales compared to last year. MFOL also ignores the basic fact that gun violence is committed by a very small number of people in any given community, the vast majority of whom are unable to legally own firearms because of their age or previous criminal history. Under MFOL's theory, I shouldn't even be mentioning this to you because I'm supposed to get you to believe that gun violence is a force of nature and something that just happens to us. And that's really what it comes down to, is they want you to believe that it's a force of nature, that it's something that just happens. And it happens because of the evil Republicans, the evil gun lobby, and the evil gun industry. And not that there are bad people who want to hurt people. And so therefore by the way, because they've already tried to hurt people, they are not supposed to legally possess firearms, but they get them anyway.
This is just idiocy. I mean, we're just full of morons today, full of one-star people, mouth breathers. There. By the way, Craig, there's only one machine, and his name's Bert Kreischer. So let's be clear on that.
Yes, let us be very clear. There is only one machine. You're right. His name is Bert Kreischer. That's him right there.
He is the machine.
Oh, going the wrong way. There you go. He is hilarious. Dude goes on stage he basically goes on stage. I don't think I've ever seen him with his shirt on in a show.
No, it comes off. Yeah.
No, yeah, he is hilarious. He is hilarious. And see, I knew that was there because I could hear the things the pinging in my earpieces going off there. But yeah, those who are against our fundamental rights, they only succeed. Their only opportunity at success is by lying. The only way in which they can convince you to give up your rights is by lying to you about what is. And so that's what they do. They lie to you. And, I'm not saying that they don't believe the lie, because they do, or some of them do, but they are lying nonetheless. Because if you believe the lie, is it lying, or is it just providing mis/disinformation?
Well, it's like we said earlier. It's a combination of either criminal intent or mouth breathers. One or the other.
Yep. There you go. All right, folks. Well, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog holster today. All right. Let's see this first one here. Let's just say that. A lot of people have certain thoughts about communism and socialism, and it turns out, specifically about the DSA and their socialist agenda. And let's just say that when confronted with the truth, a lot of people, they're not buying it.
Welcome to The Price is White. Do you think most black and Hispanic New Yorkers support socialism?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No. You don't think so?
No. No, I don't support social. That's communism, right?
Pretty damn close, yeah. Socialism progresses to communism.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in that.
Do you think the DSA understands what black and Hispanic communities need?
I think they have a basis to go from. I think every day that they're getting better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1,000%.
No. No. No, not at all.
I don't think he speaks for me.
Do you think black and Hispanic New Yorkers want to defund the police?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but I also think that they have good reason for it.
Police are supposed to fulfill a role. Maybe they do the opposite of what they're supposed to fulfill.
No.
I don't support it.
They're public servants. If they need money, you should give them money.
The police officers are here to protect us.
Donnie's tenant director basically said that home ownership is a tool of white supremacy, masquerading as wealth-building public policy. Would you agree with her on that?
As it stands, it's incredibly racially biased.
I feel like I agreed with that.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely could.
Okay.
It could, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
I don't look at it on a racial landscape like that.
No, buying a home is not white supremacy because anybody could buy a home nowadays.
Don't like 44% of black people own homes. How is that racist?
Did you guys vote for Mom Donnie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Don't agree with his policies.
No.
No, absolutely not. I would never vote for that guy.
Do you as a white person feel that white-dominated institutions fully represent people of color?
No. No, of course not.
I don't think so. No. No.
The DSA is 85% white.
Oh.
So you don't think any 85% white institution could ever represent people of color?
No, hell no. No, they're not from our world. They would never understand.
What makes you say they're not from your world?
Denzel Washington once said, when that hot comb hits your hair in the morning, it smells different.
So you're saying they don't understand the culture?
They would never understand.
I really do not feel comfortable speaking to the DSA, having only learned about them 2 minutes ago.
I wish I was more well-informed by the things you're asking me.
You asked some interesting questions that I will have to think about.
After talking to many New Yorkers, it's clear.
That Denzel Washington quote, I gotta look that one up. That was a good one.
Craig, you can look right down the middle of those people there and see which ones were not bullied enough as a child. It's just,
or not. When I say, in some cases, not even necessarily bullied. How about just like told no by their parents?
Yeah.
Speaking of socialism,
real historical simulation of socialism with the happy singing puppets and everything.
All right, hold on. I think I know what I did wrong there. I thought I added the entire video. Now I've got the entire video. Here we go.
Real historical simulation of socialism with the happy singing puppets and everything.
Here we go.
Socialism is great, socialism is grand. We will all have a ball if we follow the plan where they force us to share because the government can. Socialism is the best.
Oh, look over here. This is where socialism has worked.
What's socialist about this place?
Greece had a lot of socialist policies like free college, including free tuition, free books, free meals.
I mean, I wouldn't mind an all-expenses-paid trip to Princeton.
Oh, I like the way you sing. Which is weird because I usually hate women.
Socialism is great, socialism is fine. When we all get free school books and food all the time. Really, who needs a job when you get free coupons? But our country goes bankrupt.
The country went bankrupt?
Yes, many students chose not to graduate at all and made a career out of getting free stuff paid for by taxpayers. It was one of the many systems that bankrupted Greece.
But that wasn't real socialism. Go to a place where everything was socialized.
Like this.
Socialism is grand, socialism is great. When extreme, it can lead to a communist state where individuals can't own land or factories or anything else. Communism is the best.
Soviet-occupied Berlin. This is what happened when a nation broken by war was forced into socialist policies.
Communism? I wrote about this. My dream.
We saw the same thing in Cuba.
This is your dream?
Well, the book was better.
When incentives are lost, we all bear the cost.
But look how popular the bread line is. It must be very yummy bread. Oh yes, yum yum, we love the bread. Oh, the bread is the best bread ever. Silence! Who told you kids you can speak?
Actually, without the freedom and incentives to make their own bread, the people relied on the government for food, which led to massive shortages.
You have to admit, the people have never been slimmer.
Because they went hungry, you dingus!
I thought you taught us to attack ideas, not people.
I'm working on it!
Look, something is wrong with the simulation. Socialism works. It works every time. I wrote the book. We just have to go there to see for ourselves.
It would be funny if it wasn't true.
Yes, it would be, but for some reason, I don't know why, so many Gen Zers and so many people on the left just don't seem to want to learn from history. But by the way, speaking of learning from history, in this next clip, this is an interesting one because this has got Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher kind of explaining why, like, even if you are not a Christian or a Jew, why Judeo-Christian principles actually work, where our sense of morality, why our form of government and why what we have works.
You and I agree on morality like 87.5%. I'm a religious Jew. You're an atheist. Why do we agree on those things? I'll tell you, I mean, I can give you my answer.
Yeah, please.
Because we probably grew up a few miles from each other in a Western society that has several thousand years of biblical history behind it. And so you can think that you hit that triple and you formed your own morality, but the reality is you were born morally on third base.
No, okay. We got that morality from the Enlightenment, which was an anti-religious movement. The founding fathers, they weren't religious people. They were deists. They weren't particularly Christy.
Thomas Jefferson used the morality of the Bible when he was ripping all the miracles out of the Bible.
Yes.
He literally wrote a version of the Bible without the miracles. I mean, that
we
is...
discussed this the last time I was here, and you were talking about all of Jesus's teachings and how this was really radical new stuff, right? And how it changed
His
the world.
His basic philosophy, yes.
And how without that, I mean, I think it's worth understanding that what the pivot point in history when we talk about Judeo-Christian ethics, but more specifically Christian ethics, what a turning point in history that represented for within the Roman Empire and beyond in terms of medicine, in terms of care for the widow and the orphan. Much of what we would consider to be sort of good, moral, ethical behavior was not, in fact, a commonplace or mainstream thing several centuries ago. And so I think to Ben's point, some of that
Why do we still do it? Why do we still admire it?
Because cut flowers die. Meaning that if the flower is the result of the root, and then you cut the flower, you can live on with a secular humanistic morality, be a moral person, be a good person, but it does not systemically maintain.
And I thought that was one of the best points that was made right there. Number one, it's a system that just works. I've always believed biblical principles work. If you apply them, whether you believe in the Bible or not, the principles work nonetheless. And as he noted, we're still dealing with the benefits. Even though we're slowly but surely cutting out the principles, the blessings are still there. They're just starting to dissipate. Just like the flower he described, eventually the petals are going to start to wither and fall off.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, so let's get it back together, folks. Let's get it back together. Anyway, all that having been said, we're at the end of our show once again. But before we go, we're going to do one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on there, get you some AR barrels. You get rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire. They also have a full line of rifle, pistol, and shotgun barrels for other manufacturers. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
And once again, folks, please take a moment, visit our sponsors by following the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and let them know that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to make it 4 times in a row. Oh, man, that's going to be phenomenal. 4 times in a row here on The Rundown. Tomorrow will be Throat Punch Thursday. We hope that you will join us. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see y'all mañana.